Hello and welcome to today's Story of the Blues. My name's Tommy Oldham. This is my take on all things Oldham Athletic and stay. We're at home to Solihull Moors, who are currently second in the National League table. I mistakenly said they'd won against Halifax on Friday when actually they drew. Obviously, we're going to this game on the back of a 0-0 draw away at Oldham Moors. Surprisingly, despite all the negativity going on at the moment towards the management, we're actually 2 games unbeaten. Now, obviously, Solihull Moors haven't lost a game yet this season, so wouldn't it be nice to end that run of theirs and give ourselves a nice little home victory? Another thing that's funny is people going on about Chesterfield still, about the pitch invasion, but Solihull, who remembers when they scored that last minute equaliser last year and everyone accused them of being over the top with celebrations and stuff. It's irony, that's just football, it happens. A cloudy day over at Boundary Park, but hey, let's get a win today, let's go for these lads. And today we're at home to Solihull Moors. Now, Solihull Moors last year, they beat us at their place 2-1 and drew 1-1 there with that late goal. They finished 15th, I think, been playoff finalists year before, so never really kicked on. This season they've started off well, they've played 5, won 3, drawn 2, including 2 wins away from home. But all unbeaten records have got to end sooner or later. We drew at 0-0 at Oldham Wood on Saturday. Now, I didn't go, so I'm not going to comment on the game, but there's 2 ways looking at it. Positives, clean sheet, positives at a point, and Green returning. Either way, we need to kick on, we need to start turning these draws into wins. It's strange, all the criticism of Unsworth, we've drawn our last 2 games, but it's time now to start putting his words where his mouth is on the pitch and start delivering. Come on, Oldham, 33 years ago today was at the first ever game we won at home 2-0 against Leicester. Here's for 33 more years. Come on, Oldham, see you on the terraces. Solihull at home, bank holiday Monday, drive the aid in a frigging DHS sale. Come on, Oldham, let's have 3 points today, let's get ourselves a win. Should be. What? Well, half-time, better second half lead, much better performance. Going forward, but looking at football, lack of urgency at the moment. But to still do this, down to 10 men, who knows? Alright, well, that's fair enough subs actually. At least he's put my second players on. Isn't that? Every time. The Irish for me, they just cannot do enough.
Like you get an text and ask him to take you somewhere, and he'd just say, well, while you're here and it's your first time in Galway, I'll take you to some place. And this guy just ended up showing us all these local sites, so well out of his way. Sick. And they just move constantly. Yeah. Like it's midweek, 12 o'clock, midday, pubs are open, people are moving. It's not going to survive.
On our site where we live, we've got a decent amount of pub on it.
Come on now, let's get something, let's get back into this. Making Solihull look like Real Madrid when really nothing.
We've got the ball when we've lost the ball.
Maybe it should be gone or not.
Gallows humour.
Full time, lost 2-0, simply not good enough. Changes need to happen and needs to happen fast. Can't be putting performances like that, especially at home. 6 games into the season, we're just outside the relegation zone. But that plays in the team we've got. I'm sorry, Unsworth, but you are not the man to take us forward. So the game itself, so at first, I thought it seemed to start off brightly. We pushed forward, moved the ball, obviously. Reid had a good chance, Shelton had a good chance, and for me, Solihull were there for the taking, but then the urgency seemed to die off. There wasn't enough communication, again, as I've highlighted this year, between the players. Following up getting butts in the first minute, you knew the inevitable was going to happen. You knew he was going to get sent off, and Unsworth should have acted on that early on. He should have seen it would become a liability. Obviously, Solihull were looking not to have a penalty at the end of the first half, but the second half, once down to 10 men, use that man extra. The first goal they scored, if you looked at it, the original ball played through, again, that number 8 was able to get in between the two defenders. They were not closing them down and fed it through. Obviously, the other goal came in the last minute of injury time, but Green come on and showed glimpses. I thought Gardner didn't have too much of a bad game. My man of the match game was Kitchen. Sutton was alright, but overall, it wasn't a good enough performance. Hudson made some good saves. It's boring to watch, and literally, I've tried to back Unsworth, and I mean it, but I am not one for chopping and changing managers. But I don't see anything improving under him. I don't see us moving forward. I certainly don't see us getting promoted. I don't think we'll go down under him, but he looks to me now like he's lost the dressing room. The football isn't good to watch. It's awful. It lacks any sort of urgency, as I've mentioned. It's not this fast, dynamic football. We're going backwards, not forwards. But I like to look out for the two E's: entertainment and exciting. Now, entertainment doesn't mean it's going to be always fancy football. It doesn't mean it's going to be freestyle, one touch, passy, ticker. Exciting is just going for it. It's just having a go, having a players getting stuck in for it, creating chances, players having a run at opponents. Obviously, we may have to be direct in some circumstances, but that doesn't mean it's done. Doesn't mean it's boring. It's still entertaining by having shots, by trying to score, by closing down opponents. The second balls yesterday at times were appalling. The follow-up balls, we weren't doing any of that, and we were made to look average. It's fair to Solihull, once we went on to 10 men, they used that extra man to their advantage. They capitalised on it. Unsworth has been backed better than most of our previous managers, and on paper, we have a good squad. Now, we thought it's a good game, but his tactics are questionable. The players look lost and out of place. It's sad, but big decisions needed, and Darren Royal, we know he's Unsworth's mate, but he's going to have to get rid, because otherwise, fewer fans going to come. Now, people said about the crowd being down yesterday. It was a bad comparison about the Halifax game, because let's be honest, Halifax brought a good following anyway, we know that. I'd compare that maybe to a couple more home games, like maybe the Dorking game. Because for me, if we'd been doing well yesterday, and I know a couple of City fans that came to it, I know a United fan that came, but more would have come. No Premier League matches on. It'd have been the perfect opportunity to push the club forward, promote it. And it's fair to Frankie, again, he was in the fans bar before the game, doing his usual self, talking, interacting with fans. And the fans bar, again, was busy. But that feel-good factor from pre-season, fans are losing already. I've heard fans are already writing off this season. And I don't want to write the season off after 6 games, but I'm sorry. Changes are needed. And I've been patient with Unsworth. I've not been shouting his name out from the stands. I haven't changed my profile picture to a rhino out. I haven't been abusive or thrown abuse. But this, for me now, it's got to the stage where if we don't change it now, I said I don't think we'll go down. It'll be one of these managers where we'll lose a run of games, then we'll win a couple or we'll draw a couple. It won't be good, and then it'll be back to square one again. And players are getting frustrated. You can see it in the faces. Look at like Norwood come here. Do you think he came here to be in a team that, if it hadn't been for Southend being deducted 10 points, would be now in the bottom 4? The players like, say, Fondop, he should have known to have controlled his temper. It's happened before. He should have known how stupid he was to get booked early on in the game. But for me now, it's a case of, if we don't act now, the longer we leave it, the less chance we've got of turning this season around and pushing it and getting up towards the playoffs, which is where we should be going minimum. It's right, Unsworth saying in his interviews, but Joe, when people say, oh, we shouldn't talk, maybe he shouldn't, because it's like he's watching a different game to us all. And don't get me wrong, I get that training is good. I've been a football coach myself. I'm a former referee. I've seen teams, kids football, where in training they can look like world beaters, but at the end of the day, it's that competitive, it's that match day mentality, that competitive edge. It's that going out, grafting, getting the wins. No, it probably wasn't the worst performance I've seen watching Oldham, but again, it's the manner of which we played. It's the way we were sitting back, and like in the second half we had the odd chance, but nothing since then, nothing clinical. And again, Solihull had a bad season last year from where they were the year before, being in that playoff final. And to the credit, now they're looking a lot fresher, a lot better. Will they still be up there? I don't know. But obviously we saw the results in this division are changing. Boreham Wood, we got that 0-0 draw. Boreham Wood apparently had 12 fit players. They went and lost 4-0 to Oxford City today, team that's at the bottom. Now, a Chesterfield fan had said to me, Oxford didn't look too bad. You could see once you got the first win, the confidence would improve. But it's a league when anyone can beat anyone. But if we're setting up just to draw at teams, and you're looking at it and you're thinking, where's the ambition where's this determination to get ourselves out the league? And it filters down because now the fans are making the feelings known in the Rocket. It's not one or two, it's a few. And it's a few, and the Boo Boys who enjoy this will be thriving off this. Unsworth, you had the right ideas, but for me now, don't get me wrong, if you're in charge on Saturday, I'll still support my team and I still want us to win. But patience is going. And for me, maybe it's just a case of looking at your pride and thinking, it ain't working. It ain't. Credit to Solihull Moors, they came here, they did a job. That Beck apparently was his 100th career goal. They were the better team majority of the game, especially when we're down at 10 men. They knew how they had a game plan, they stuck to it. They exploited our weaknesses, something that a lot of teams have done, and they're now top of the league, and you're not top of the league for no reason this year. How long they can sustain it will be interesting to see. But obviously we saw Chesterfield came back from 2-0 down and beat Hartlepool, who went to the Games League leaders 3-2. Oldham had another good result. Rochdale have picked up a few wins now, so the league's getting more interesting. As I said this year, I didn't expect there to be a runaway team like we had last year, and at the moment that's proving that way. It's still a dog-eat-dog league. Teams are still taking points off each other, and this is why it's important we get on wall. We now need to pick up what points. We need to start winning games. It's the only way the pressure's going to come off, because it's a results game at the end of the day. And we need wins and we need goals, and they need to happen fast. We can't keep wasting time now. We've had the pre-season. Serious stuff has already begun. This cabinet used to be a corner suite many years ago at Oldham Athletic. When they knocked down the lucky stand, it came over. Interesting this weekend, and something that's been noted, that both former managers Lee Johnson and Dean Holden have both been sacked from their jobs. Now, Lee Johnson for me was a good manager. I liked him at his time at Oldham. He's the last manager who's got us close to the playoffs. At times he played good football, yeah, it didn't always work for him, and in the end I think he got frustrated. When he first come to the club, I was looking at a bit of Q&A with him, and the first thing he said was, I can get players, I don't need big money, I can talk and he's coming. I think he realised it didn't work like that. I think he got frustrated at the lack of development with the North Stand at the time, because he knew the potential extra generated funds that would have gone back into the club, or should have done, and being able to get new players. It was clear he wanted out. Now, I didn't like the way he left this dossier that he was working on for Barnsley when we went to Warwick, and had that awful performance. And I was frustrated, but you know you get frustrated when a manager goes, because you know they've made a mark, they've made an impact. Now, I'll be prepared to bring him back. All right, it won't be everyone's cup of tea, and the pressure will be on him straight away to deliver. And he's not been fair, and he will need instant success. Now, I know we won a JPT with Sunderland, and that's about it, but that's the LJ's problem now. Maybe he himself needs that reset. He needs to take a back step, and maybe the National League is a perfect start from under these new owners, what he could do. Don't get me wrong, if he doesn't come back, it's no skin off my teeth. Now, for Dean Holden, he took over from LJ and he didn't do particularly well. I don't think it's a bag. If it's a sound lad, okay, he had that rant at Hull that time against us where he gave us the fees to the fans, but unfortunately, when he took over from LJ, he won that opening game, but the football wasn't good to watch. And we've seen at Charlton and Bristol City, I think Dean Holden's a great coach, a good number two, but he's not a manager. National League, again, cut his teeth. It may be a bit different, but in a league where it's harder to get out with, I don't see it happening myself. Anyway, I'll throw a photo of when I met him on the bus one day when he was scouting and his card broken down. We're both a pair of buzz wankers, as we got told. And that's it for this week. There's not an awful lot more to say. Thanks to people who sent us some photos from the Boreham Wood game to include in the video. Obviously, we play Gateshead away on Saturday, and it's a 5:30 kickoff. And then our next game is Dorking at home on a Saturday 3 p.m, which it won't be, because I'll be in Poland for the England game. Anyway, keep the faith. Just get behind the lads while you can. And remember, this is our club. and the fans will be there longer than any player or manager. Every day, Oldham would buy me. We're off our fucking heads. Keep the faith. Come on, Oldham. See us on the terraces.